none other than Miss Neki Mohan.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Good afternoon, Neki. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Very good. Can you hear me good? Everything is good?
Everything is fantastic.
Boy, I was really impressed, really and truly impressed when I asked you to do this. We did it right on your iPad immediately to make a test. I mean, that's so excited, you know.
Well, that's the business I work in. We have to know how to react quickly, try things quickly, and I always tell people I live my life sometimes in 30-second increments. So
I can see that. And so truly. And thank you for joining Irie Times and Caribcast.tv and Jamaicans.com to tell us a little about Neki Mohan.
well, I'm a Trinidadian, as you know.
Yes, I do. but don't forget.
A proud Caribbean woman.
Exactly.
Parents are Trinidadian. I was born in New York, but moved to Trinidad when I was 3 and left Trinidad after O-levels. I went to Holy Name Convent in Trinidad in Port of Spain, grew up in Port of Spain, and moved back to New York, then began my college career in New York at Nassau Community College, then transferred to the University of Maryland, worked in the DC area, and from there started my television career. I've worked in Jackson, Mississippi. I've worked at ABC News. I've worked at WUSA TV in Washington. I've worked in Miami at the NBC affiliate. I worked in Los Angeles. I've worked in Ohio. I returned in 2004, and I've been there going on 11 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when did you come to South Florida?
But the first time, 1996.
1996.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you went to Carnival. I know you were in the Carnival down in Miami, I think it was.
Yeah, well, I'm a Carnival child. I grew up in Trinidad, so I grew up playing Carnival from 6, 7 years old. So Carnival is part of my thing. My parents used to make costumes. My grandmother was a seamstress. She made costumes. Some of my friends have band sections in Trinidad. So, I'm a Trinidadian. I'm a true Trinidadian. I love Carnival. I love steel pan. I love soca. I don't do it as much as I would like to because I have a full-time television job, which, American television is not as convenient to put Carnival around. But, I do enjoy it, love it, love the tradition, not just the fete, but I also love the pan. And I love the artistry. I have a daughter. She plays juniors carnival here in Miami. So I love the tradition and I love the culture.
Have you ever played the carnival in Trinidad?
Oh, yes. Many times.
Okay.
Most recently, 2013 with Tribe, with a bunch of young women from Miami. I took them down.
Okay. Yeah. I saw on your Facebook page, so your daughter is in there with you, you're teaching her the right culture.
Well, it's a proud tradition. It's much more than just jump and shake and wear skimpy clothing. Carnival is expression. Carnival is political satire. Carnival is artistry. And my parents and my community raised me to respect that. My parents used to play with Peter Minshall and, great bands in Trinidad and Tobago. And, so I learned to respect the moving art that Carnival is, the art that moves with the body and the art that tells a story. And I think Junior's Carnival, Kiddies Carnival is still that in its truest form. So my daughter has been a steel pan, she's been a bird, she's been an Indian dancer. And through Carnival, she's learning her culture as well as what else we teach her.
Okay. So tell me something, Neki, how did you aspire to be a journalist? Did you want to be a journalist from when you were growing up?
I used to run around my house pretending to be Kermit the Frog from Sesame Street News at 5, 6 years old. I've always wanted to be a reporter. I just, when someone once told me that, reporters write the history books of tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather used to have me go pick up the newspaper every morning and bring it home. And I learned to read on the newspaper. I just was fascinated by journalism, fascinated about these people that would write about these amazing things and be witness to history. And it was just, you know, it was just amazing to me. They went places, they did things, never a dull day. And I've always been just fascinated by that.
But I see when you first came to the Light of the Caribbean people was when you covered the hurricane in Jamaica.
Yeah, you know,
Nice to do that.
it was amazing. You know, it was Hurricane Ivan. I think that was 2005.
I think around that. I think it's around that.
2004, 2005. I can't remember exact right now. But yeah, they sent me to Jamaica to normally, you know, we never really go that far, but our station had technology at the time. And we said, you know what, we've been to the Bahamas. This hurricane storm looks like it's really going to impact Jamaica. Let's go to Jamaica. And, you know, it was such a great opportunity to go to Jamaica and not only showcase, you know, sometimes some stations cover a storm and the only neighborhoods they cover are the neighborhoods that are like poor and downtrodden. They always get hit badly, you know, but I also took them up into the hills and showed them the beautiful neighborhoods in Jamaica and gave them like a well-rounded view of the bustling economy of the island. And it really gave me a chance to showcase Caribbean people in a non-traditional sense. And, you know, it was a lot of people emailed me and said, wow, you know, you showed a side of Jamaica that's not often showed and shown. And I was just thrilled to be able to do that because it's a side we know as Caribbean people. Right. And, you know, I always tell people, I said, you know, Caribbean islands have beautiful beaches, but we're so much more than just that.
Okay. Are you planning to go down there again if another hurricane decides to strike us?
I don't know. You know, we don't really make decisions that far in advance. I mean, it depends on when a storm comes in. You know, the way news works is that you have, we always have a rotation of different people and different talent. And now that I'm an anchor, I'm very much anchored to my show. So, you know, sometimes I get the younger people go out there and get wet. I have a child now. I have to get home and somebody has to pick her up from school and, you know, somebody has to be there for her. So, you know, when I was single with no children, it was easier to go and
plane and go down
for 3 days. And, you know, because you go to cover a storm, you cover the storm and then, you know, everything gets shut down for a while. You're there for at least 3-4 days.
Yes, definitely. So you're an anchor at Channel 10. What are your hours there?
I mean, I work, you know, a 40-hour work week. I do work a 40-hour work week, sometimes more, you know. It depends, you know, I always tell people that's the pros and cons of this business is that the pros are that you never have the same day. You know, when I anchor, yes, I go in and I do a show and it's on the air for 4 hours and we're there for about 6 to 8 hours at work. Right. But I only do a show 2 days a week on Saturday and Sunday morning. I also report Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And that's a pretty long day because we report for the noon show. I get in at 9 in the morning and you report for the noon, you report for the 4, you report for the 5 and the 6 o'clock news. So it's normally like a 10-hour day and you're not quite sure where you're going to end up. Some days I'm in downtown Miami. Some days I'm in Delray Beach. Some days I end up in the Keys.
Yeah, some of my viewers are saying you are such a great anchor.
Thank you.
You know, tell us, you know, where have this taken you so far? I mean, being an anchor at Channel 10.
You know, I mean, I've been in this business for 23 years and I've been fortunate to meet the last 5 presidents of the United States. You know, I used to not only working in local news, but also working at the network level. I used to work with David Brinkley, Peter Jennings, worked with Bob Schieffer when I was producing. And here in South Florida, Florida is always an exciting place politically. So presidents come through regularly. It's always a great honor. I have covered the Academy Awards. I have covered the Grammys. I have been to NATO, the NATO headquarters when I was in Los Angeles. I went over to Europe. I've had some really amazing opportunities. Sports-wise, I've covered NBA Finals, Super Bowls, you know, World Series runs by the Marlins. You know, I've really, really, really been blessed. And of course, as you know, I cover weather, I cover crime, I cover politics. You know, I was fortunate to go to Trinidad for the 50th anniversary of independence. I didn't quite make it to Jamaica for theirs, but our station did a wonderful special on it. And, you know, I've just really that's what I love about living in South Florida is that, you know, international news is local news. Right. And that's why I love being here. And it's warm.
You'd have to go shovel no snow like up in New York.
Listen, I lived in Cleveland. I used to live I used to live in the same building as a young man named LeBron James, and he was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
And I see him in the elevator. And I hear he did really well in life.
Really well. Boy, I'm telling you, as I said, a lot of people know of you. A lot of people know you very well as they watch Channel 10, you know, and really, I said, you're not really only a Trinidadian, but a Caribbean person.
Yes, very much so. I mean, I love, I always say we may have come over in different boats, but we're in the same boat now. And I believe that, having the opportunity to meet so many, it started really in college because I went to University of Maryland, and a lot of Caribbean people go to Howard University,
Right.
all my friends. And we really had a great Caribbean student union. And all my friends from university are doing such exciting things across the Caribbean. And DC has such an amazing Caribbean community. I mean, the Caribbean community will always be home. We have just, we all were raised with basically the same values, work hard, we play hard, but also strive for excellence. We're such strong, motivated people. And so I love my Caribbean pairs. We get each other. We parent a certain way. We raise our children with brought-up-see. So, I do love my Caribbean community. And I love the opportunity to meet all types of people. But the Caribbean is always home.
Yeah, I love that word, brought-up-see.
Brought-up-see. You have to have brought-up-see.
You have to have brought-up-see. And you teach your children that so that they in turn teach their children that.
That's right.
So, and I've seen you a lot anchor like at the Trinidad and Tobago Ball, which we broadcast on Irie Times. And I'm saying, boy, you are always so well received. And I see you got an award, I think a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be recognized by your own, because they truly know where you've come from and they truly know your journey. And I've always appreciated the support of, the Trinidad and Tobago community here. At home in Trinidad, our viewers watch us on cable in Trinidad. And the Caribbean community as a whole here in South Florida has always been very supportive of me, very welcoming, just very active. Email me if they have something going on, or email me. It's very, very supportive things. Sometimes when you're on at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, and you're dog tired, you don't know who you're really impacting. And people always have such kind things and wonderful, supportive things to say to me and of me. And I'll never take that for granted.
One thing I love about you is that you are so humble in what you do. I mean, for a person who has met so many presidents and have done so many things, when anybody see you, you're just such a humble person. You're just so, you're not, in Jamaica we say, you're not bossy.
Or in Trinidad, they say not too stush, or you're not, I grew up in Belmont. I grew up in Belmont, Trinidad, in Port of Spain, and right around the Savannah. I tell people, I was like, there's nothing like, your home community to keep you in check. And I'm always that girl. You respect people, you see people for people. And I meet people and they say, hi, I like watching you. I'm always thankful that they do, because quite frankly, I'm nothing without the people that support me and the viewers. Right. And it has really made a difference. And, social media has been wonderful to me, because, people always on there supporting me. And, sometimes when they do, research and surveys, they don't really do it in our community. Right. So I have to say that the people that have come on social media to really support me, it has been noticed. It has been noticed by my boss. It has been noticed by the people that pay my bills. So I have to be humble, because, we growing up, you learn there, but for the grace of God, go I. I mean, things can always go a lot differently for you. And I think if you're grateful and appreciative, good things will always come to you.
Right. That is also true. The other day you hosted the Willie Stewart. You and my good friend Lisa Lee.
Yes.
She said, "Oh, you got to talk to Neki. You have to talk to Neki."
Lisa was an intern of mine. Lisa was an intern of mine in 1998.
You taught her well
at NBC. And Willie Stewart is just, of third world drummer. He's amazing. He's a percussionist, internationally well-known percussionist. Willie's just amazing. And what he does with his program for young children and getting children to learn drumming and learn the roots and learn good music. And so many children here that are Caribbean heritage or African heritage don't really get the opportunity to experience cultural performances or music from Africa.
Right.
You know, that makes such a difference. I mean, I was telling someone today, you know, growing up in Trinidad, you know, my father's side of my family's Indian, my mother's side is Black and Hispanic. And, you know, I always knew the music from both sides. I always experienced the food, the culture, the dancing from both sides. And here, you know, children don't really have that close connection to their culture. So for Willie to put that in schools and to give these children the opportunity to perform is life-changing for them. And it has shown them a glimmer of greatness. And I always say, once you give young people a high in life that's natural and organic and just absolutely amazing, they'll always seek that high and realize that they can reach that high with their efforts and, you know, their own work. And they maybe that'll keep them from seeking other highs that are not so organic.
Yeah, because I've seen that he always talks about it, that, you know, it has changed the children.
Yes. Oh, yes. I see it. You know, I always, anytime Willie calls, I answer, because what he does is such a high level and so amazing and such, I mean, everybody that goes to his show is just blown away by what these children learn to do in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks.
it's just a short time. It's just a short time.
They do performance with internationally known artists, and it's such a high level. I mean, I grew up in Trinidad, and we had a lot of local shows, and my first appearance on television was at 11 on a show called 12 and Under. Okay. And that changed my life. It really did. It really did change my life. And I grew up, you know, I had a really bad stutter growing up. But when I started to learn poems and I used to sing a little bit, it helped me get the confidence to speak speak in front of people. And it changed. I mean, where would I be without that? Where would I be without the ability to be confident to speak in front of people? I really wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be here, that's for sure.
You are doing such an excellent job. But being anchor now, Neki, what next?
I don't know. Who knows? You know, I mean, it just, you know, the television business, I'm very fortunate for all the opportunities Channel 10 gives me and Channel 10 affords me. And, you know, the sky's the limit. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I like to say that, you know, I whatever I put my mind to and I really work at, it normally comes to fruition because I'm very persistent. I'm persistent to a fault. Family will tell you. If I want something, I will eat, breathe, sleep it, and
until you get it.
I'll go after it. So I've been here. This is the longest station I've ever worked for. I've worked for 10 television stations in my career in 5 cities. And I've been here because it feels like home, and I've had the opportunity to raise my daughter, have such a supportive network. You know, it almost feels like growing up in the Caribbean at times. You know, my neighbors are Cuban, Dominican, Jamaican, you know, and we all sit outside and watch our kids play. And, you know, as much as I love my job, I really love being a parent as well and having the opportunity to do both.
Oh, okay. And you're always talking about your daughter. I see her on Facebook working out with you.
She does. She loves to, I mean, you know, we come from I'm not that athletic, but as you know, her father's really athletic.
Yes.
So I don't know, you might I think that we put the picture here recently with an old ad of his, but yes, Leah's a Bolden. So Leah is she never stops moving. She never.
Where is she?
She is watching a movie. Leah, please.
Leah.
She is very much very active. The gentleman I'm doing an interview with would like to see you. Yes, so she's on her way.
She's very.
I told her to be quiet and be in the back because she's watching. She's really into Harry Potter. She's read almost all the books.
Oh, okay.
And so I bribe her by letting her watch a movie on the weekends.
How is she doing at school?
She's doing excellent. Thank God. She's really doing well. She's been very good. This is Leah.
Hello, Leah.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I hear you're watching Harry Potter.
Hair, little messy hair.
Oh, you having a bad hair day? Okay, so how are you, my dear?
No, she's just rocking a natural today. That's all. She's rocking.
Okay. You gotta do that sometimes, man.
You have to. You really have to.
Just let it go.
Yes.
How was school there?
She's asking how's school.
Good.
Good. Having a good time? Learning a lot? Okay. I want to see you kiss mommy and give mommy a kiss for me. I know you wouldn't hesitate on doing that. Thank you, Leah, and say hello to the Irie Times family. You know, they are saying hello to you.
Hello.
So, Neki, let me know that what you know, something for the young journalists coming up. What do you know, what can you tell them?
You know, the game has changed. You know, with the game has changed. We know, you know, everyone competes with each other.
Yeah.
You know, before you used to have a print journalist or a broadcast journalist or a radio journalist, but you're doing broadcasting now too via the internet.
Right.
And you see television reporters out there with, newspaper reporters out there with cameras, and you see, and we have to write for the web, and you know, and because it's a 24-hour cycle, minute to minute, with Twitter and the internet, you know, we all have, you really have to be on top of your game to stay employed. You have to be on top of technology, but more importantly, you still have to know the basics. You still have to know law, know how to cover politics, be very credible, be very trustworthy, because you're being asked to do a lot of things in a short amount of time. So you really have to be true to your craft. A lot of people get caught up in, oh, I want to make sure I look so cute on TV. That's important too, don't get me wrong. I understand the physicality of what we do, but it's really, really, really important to really connect with the basics of storytelling, the basics of accuracy, the basics of getting good sources, the basics of getting both sides. And, you know, to be really, like I said, be really committed. I say this is not a job, this is a lifestyle. I'm, you know, we're always connected now via the phone and via, you know, the computer.
Yeah.
So you really have to be on top of your game. And it really has to be a passion, because if not, it'll drive you crazy, because sometimes you are working 24 hours.
Oh yes, I know a lot of journalists what I say love sensationalism, you know, which is not right. You know, you gotta tell the story and tell the truth. This way.
Yes, you do. And you know, what some people see as sensationalism, some people see as promotion. You have to remember too, there's a lot more competition now for eyeballs.
Right.
You know, so stations have to promote themselves,
right.
And have to get the reader and the viewer has so many other choices. So what some people may say, oh wow, that's so sensationalistic, but you watched, didn't you?
Okay.
So, I mean, my boss, you know, it's a business. It is a business, and everybody's competing for your attention.
So you actually go out and you get stories, or stories?
Yes. No. I'm out on the streets. I go out and get stories.
Oh.
You know, whether it's a story that I came up on or heard about from a source, and then I go and investigate it, or something my assignment editor has come up on and said, hey, Nikki, go check this out. Or, you know, you're doing follow-up to something you've seen happen, whether it be a crime or something in politics, or you know, you get the agenda for school board or city hall, and you go and you sit there and you come across some information you think is pertinent to the viewership. No, you have to be a, you know, door knocking, you know, shoe rubber wearing, you know, you have to be somebody that can talk to people, get information out of them, and be somebody that they trust to tell a credible story.
Yeah, but sometimes when you go to approach some of these people, do they give you any flack, any animosity towards?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's life though. You know, I mean, at over 20 years in the game, I mean, I expect to be rejected. I mean, I don't, it's funny. I always say when they go, oh, we'll talk to you. I'm like, yeah, really? You know, this is not the job if you can't handle rejection. It is not the job if you cannot handle rejection. But, you know, I always approach someone from a very human perspective. I always try to see why it would be beneficial for them to talk to me. You know, I try to help people with the medium. You know, if it's something where, you know, I'm covering a crime or covering somebody that's a victim of a crime, and I said, listen, you know, if somebody will see your story, and you know, they'll bring resources to you. And in a lot of instances that happens, and it makes me feel good. I don't ever want to exploit people for the sake of my story. You know, unfortunately, but though a lot of times I meet people on a very bad day.
Okay, but I was saying, if you go to a person, if it's a happy, you have to smile with them. If there's a sad, you have to cry with them.
Yeah, absolutely, because like I said, they're but for the grace of God go I.
Right. So, boy, I'm telling you, it's a tough job. You know, I've been there, done that already. But I mean, as I say, it's a different scenario right now. And plus, while you're in this now, in the future, it's going to be different for those who are coming into it.
Yeah, I mean, but the basics don't change. The basics don't change. The technology does, but the basics don't change. It really doesn't. But you do have to be very flexible. You have to keep up on it. You have to be somebody that's full of energy and willing to, because a lot of people get burnt out. And I'm a member of many journalism organizations, Radio Television News Directors Association. I've taken fellowships at the Poynter Institute. I'm a member of the National Association of Black Journalists, the Asian Association of Journalists. A lot of these places I've done mentoring camps at. So I keep up with the technology and I keep up with the changes in the industry to stay on top of my game, you know, and the minute I start really hating it more, I mean, everybody's going to have a day where they don't feel like being this person that's on TV. But when those days outnumber the ones that I like doing it, then it may be time to think about something else.
Wow, I'm telling you, a true journalist in our own form. I know you have to go to work now.
I do. I'm like constantly checking the time. You know, my life in 30-second and 30-minute increments. And
yeah.
you know, television. You know, people laugh. They're like, I'm like, television starts whether you're ready or not. You're not gonna have a job.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. Listen, but I really want to thank you for this opportunity to be on Irie Times and be on Jamaicans.com and to reach out, and thank you. I know you emailed me and it's been hard for us to connect, but I'm glad we finally did. Keep up the good work you do. You know, not enough about our diaspora gets out there and is covered, and I appreciate all of you in the community. You, Eddie Edwards, Mike Andrews, Khalib. You know, Khalib has a show that's coming on PBS soon, Taste of the Island, that really actively work to broadcast our culture. Makes me proud.
Boy, I'm so thankful for you being on Irie Times. You know, you have made our day, and our viewers are really and truly happy. So you're a wonderful Caribbean personality.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Neki, and have a great and wonderful day. We'd just like to thank Neki Mohan for that. It was really and truly wonderful to have her here on IrieTimes.com. And we are so proud of her. We like to thank Lisa Lee for, you know, introducing her to us recently. And I'm telling you, really elated. At 5 o'clock, Ron Burke is going to come up and